The really important thing is I want us to see if we can look at, get clear about some of these roles. And we all have them. Some of us have more. So it's not a fight to see how many roles we can have. But we have them. Turn to a buddy, find someone to just actually reflect on. Now what we need to do is look at the list of roles and see if there are any that are in conflict with one another. Because, no, you're not allowed to laugh, Kate. This is serious.
What do you mean in conflict with one another?
Well, for example, if I put over here mother as one role, and over here I put pioneer, are they congruent? I mean, do they?
But they're not in conflict unless you're trying to do them at exactly the same time, surely.
Well, no. But the reality is that sometimes that's exactly what we're doing.
You're always a mother, aren't you? Really?
Well, maybe. You know, maybe that's the underlying thing. Often mothers say exactly that. You know, I'm always worrying about my child, even if they're 60. Oh, Kate's going.
I like Kate's type of parenting.
I really don't when I go to work. I really don't think about doing that.
Okay.
You don't
But
either.
then if you were to be putting the two places together, for example, if you're trying to pioneer, let's say, but you're being called on to be a mother, therein lies a potential conflict. Yet, let's suppose that there are roles that mothers need to play, but there are roles that a pioneer needs to do. So, for example, under pioneer we could possibly put needing creative time, which is a very physical, conscious thing. Bearing in mind these are our subconscious actions or aspects. And then we've got this conscious part that needs to play into these. So we can actually get this done. But the first part, the very most important part, is to make sure that our roles that we've got are not conflicting. Just check in with each other, see if there are, and just kind of go, well, actually, well, yes, that, and let's see what we're going to do some questioning in a second. Imagine if you could actually have both those aspects congruent with yourself. Because there's you, whatever that part of you is, and you've got this part playing this role, and this part playing this role, and so you're all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah? And
It's structured all over the
I mean,
place.
the fascinating thing is that when you now get them two together, what happens? The fry bread?
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't it interesting that the one has a good intent and the other has a good intent? Both aspects have a good intent. And they're both you. Right? I mean, obviously this applies to everyone. What I'm really trying to do is say, we've got this role here, we've got this role here, mother and lover, let's just call it for the moment. And they both have good intents. We're going to be talking about intent a little bit later. But they both have good intents for us. Now, why can't they be the same? Or why aren't they the same? Or are they the same? What's the problem with that? You're both wanting the best for you. What needs to happen to shift? How can we resolve the idea that being stress-head mum over here and gorgeous, wonderful lover over here, actually they are both got positive intent, they've both got the best intent for the being. Because this part of us is the being. This part of us here is the doing. If the hats are actually in conflict, then we are not being congruent. And that's the point about this kind of doing this that I'm trying to do here. Is that if they feel like they're in conflict, we have a problem.
So what do? Just throw one hat out?
Well,
I don't want that in
no.
my
The trick
toolbox
here is to
anymore.
actually recognize that they both aspects want the best for us. And then get some kind of resolution to them, because otherwise what happens is, well, I'm trying to be work, and I'm trying to be a mother over here, and now we almost build up resentment from one to the other.
But if you can't, I used to have this thing, I never felt I did one job 100%. I was always did a job, you know, not to the best of my ability, but that really is life now, is it not? That we cannot split ourselves enough pieces to do each thing 100% because we haven't got time.
Well, we're going to come to it because part of being in line, and another top heading in this topic is being conscientious. And being conscientious is about doing the best we can with what we have and feeling comfortable with that. Because sometimes we can't do it to the perfectionist way we would like to do it, so we can only do it to 60% or 70% or 40%. But if we can recognize we're doing it to the best we can with what we have, we can kind of go, okay, so in Kate's particular case, yeah, I can have my penny on and I can be cooking the dinner and I can be talking at the same time. If that's what has to happen. Or go, no, absolutely I need to be giving my full 100% attention to this very thing, therefore this has to stop, this other thing. Because we must make sure that we are congruent with both. So, just again, coming back to you, Natalie, on that, I'll come back to you, Kate. The idea of lover and mother, they shouldn't be poles apart. For them to be poles apart is trouble a-brewing. It really is. Because unless you get yourself integrated with them, the lover's absolutely not going to integrate. They can't. Because in one mode you're here, and in another mode you're here. And I'm being two different people. Very different. And yes, it's an unconscious, often a subconscious thing, the beings having to put up with, and it's stressful. So, and this is the point. We now feel kind of pulled here and there, and betwixt, it's a real conflict. I mean, the thing about this is we've got to ask ourselves, what do we want? It's one of the big questions. What do I want to achieve here? What do I want to get out of this? Because when we actually get more conscious, and sorry Natalie that I'm kind of coming back at you, but potentially we have a disaster brewing. And if you think about that with the relationship and the kids, if you think about this, and some of you might have had this experience as mothers, and there are more mothers than not, where a child comes along and suddenly we now are torn between small child and partner. And it's a huge challenge. And the biggest problem with that often is that the partner doesn't get it. Why? Because you don't. One is not feeling resolved enough with both of those things to be able to, if you like, include them or incorporate them. Because it's almost impossible to go, be mother, changing nappies, doing whatever, and then, oh, yes dear, or whatever. Maybe what one needs to do is incorporate him into changing the nappies. But that's another story. But the challenge we've got is if we don't recognize that they are the same, or they need to become very similar, we're in problem. Just quickly, get back into your twos and just see if they are, see where the conflicts are, and ask this simple question. Choose two or a pair that are in conflict, and then ask the question, what is the intent for the one, and what is the intent for the other? If they are opposing intents, we've got a problem. If they are got opposing intents.
Opposing, sorry.
Opposing. So, if you like, the one actually doesn't want the best for you and the other one does. So I think I'll go and get trashed every night. The bizarre thing about getting trashed every night is, the reason why I want to get trashed every night is because I want to feel good. And then I want to spend time with my wife not trashed every night because I want to feel good. The intent is the same. Okay. So, how do I get these two to talk to each other?
Say you off down the pub.
Here we go! No, but do you see what I'm saying?